Why don't we refresh our memories and have a look at a little bit more of what the media was telling us a year ago tonight.
Bill Shorten will be Prime Minister for the next 3 years.
Labor is polling 52% and the Coalition is on 48%.
No, but I'm expecting it to fall around 81 or something. I'm basing that on things I've heard from people who should know.
This is predicting a Labor Party win. You would expect certainly north of 78 seats for the Labor Party, but somewhere in the 80s.
An Ipsos poll that shows an 8-point turnaround on the two-party preferred vote in Queensland. That would deliver quite a lot of seats to Labor.
Could the polls be wrong? Do you think the coalition could get up? I mean, I'm asking you.
We might have to look for a new job on that.
But I don't think they are.
Said 80, just to be clear.
86.
Verbal me already, we're just starting.
I heard 86. Did you hear 86?
I heard 86.
I heard 86. Everybody heard 86.
Everyone heard 86.
Spoiler alert, Scott Morrison and the Coalition win. Jane, do you ever get tired of this? And does the media ever get punished, or is there any ever accountability for getting things so wrong so often?
Not much, although I think that Peter Van Onselen, when he said, you know, that he would cop it sweet if he was wrong, well, I think today he's probably, I haven't had a look at Twitter, but I think today that's been played around a fair bit. So maybe people like PVO did, but no, in general, no. But it also goes to polling, doesn't it? We're now learning, and we'll see this in the American presidential election. We're going to see it again and again and again. People don't tell pollsters they think
but we all know that, Jane. I really reckon the polling thing is such a cop-out because the polls were so close. And if political pundits and analysts are just going to rabbit off the numbers in the polls, then who needs them? Who needs them? They're supposed to bring other issues to bear. What do you reckon, Tim?
Yeah, exactly. A few weeks before the election, when most of us had kind of, you know, we're looking at the polls. The polls say Labor's going to win. Warren Brown, the Daily Telegraph's cartoonist, who is largely apolitical. He has friends on both sides of the camp. He's not wedded to any particular ideology. But he does know a lot of swing voters and people who don't particularly care for politics. And he just said, apropos of nothing one afternoon, no, I think Morrison's going to win this. And that was several weeks in advance. Now, he's a cartoonist. He's not a professional political pundit. And he got it right. Hire the man. You know, like, seriously. Those entire stupid panels, get rid of them and put one guy there with a pen.
Warren, he'll be watching. He's the man. It's about being in touch, though, isn't it, Justin? It's been about being in touch with the political issues, with the actual mainstream population and with the polls and making some balanced judgments.
Hey, listen, just before I give my answer, you don't have a clip of me somewhere that you're about to play,
do you want to confess? Do you want to confess to any...
No, I don't. I did feel that, you know, there may be a clip breathing down my neck here, but I did feel that people just, as much as the Coalition were probably dropping back on their seats, I think people just couldn't cop Bill Shorten as the Prime Minister. And when you wake up on Saturday morning, that is the question that usually people go, well, look, who do I really want to wake up to tomorrow as the Prime Minister? And I don't think they could really cop Bill Shorten. But when you talk about people being surprised, I don't think anyone looked more surprised on election night than that buffy four-eyed Cronulla Shark supporter that was giving the speech at the end of the night.
That, in case you were wondering, would happen to be the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison. Well, no, actually, I spoke to Scott Morrison, you know, sort of just in a casual fashion a couple of days before the election, and he was pretty determined and sort of cautiously optimistic then.
He was.
I think he knew what he was doing.